Hello and welcome back to Tauri, where it's just the British Grand Prix today in all of its glory. If you didn't see the sort of preamble to the last video, go back and check it out. I'm not going to repeat it again in its entirety anyway, but just as a reminder, this is being done as a whole Grand Prix weekend, and then we'll be checking in for the rest of the season because we effectively hit all the milestones except for winning the whole thing. We've had a pole position, we've had a sprint win, and we've had a race win now, so all the checkpoints, apart from winning the drivers or constructors, we've done. Also, this is now being done on the 1.9 patch, I presume it's called 1.9 anyway, which is added difficulty options. I'm not changing the difficulty, but I figured I'd just mention they're a thing now. As for us though, there's nothing really to note in terms of the car, nothing's being built. The next things we'll have on the car ready and built will be for the first race after the summer break, which is Zandvoort. But there are already two remaining sprint weekends, which are Austin, Texas and Qatar. So they might just be the two videos we do for the second half of the season. Kind of on the assumption that there will be very little to play for at the end, hopefully. But those videos will be dropped in possibly once a week from the second week of Football Manager's release. So the first week of Football Manager, entirely Football Manager. Second week, we'll probably do 4 Football Manager and then 1 Grand Prix, and then same the following week, basically. As I said before, the intention is to do 1 season per week with Football Manager, and then hopefully by the time we've basically done the full beta save for Football Manager, we'll have completed season 3 of this as well. And then we'll be in the great unknown content-wise going forward. Because obviously we'll still be continuing with this until we actually win anything, quite frankly. And in regards to Football Manager post-beta save, more likely to be recap videos or just something in a slightly different format. But anyway, enough of that. Britain, qualifying, sprint, race. Actually having to send our drivers out in Q1 at the end, both of them. Last few races have been able to keep one of them in the garage. Usually Yuki, but for whatever reason, I mean, actually, in fairness, Alex is 3/10 ahead of Yuki, and they are 12th and 13th. So Alex might have been fine, actually, judging by the actual total gap there. But you'd expect more from Gasly, and you'd expect more from Magnussen. So there's 2 people down there that I'm concerned by. And both our drivers are going slower in Sector 1 anyway, just by being on, you know, new tyres and pushing everything. It's everything. Why do I bother? More to the point, Oasa and Giovinazzi have already taken the chicken flag. So Giovinazzi was another one I was worried by just because, you know, De Vries is ahead. Hatchard gets out of the bottom 5, but not at the expense of either of our drivers. I think we're basically fine. Bottas has just crossed the line anyway. He goes 15th, and neither of our drivers improve. Oh, they do actually. Yuki gains a 10th in the last sector alone, evidently. Ricciardo hasn't actually finished. Ricciardo could put Bottas out. He doesn't. And Magnussen finds a more rightful place and does put Bottas out. Gasly out in Q1 though. Giovinazzi slowest of all, weirdly. Get out of the way, Perez! Right, thank you. Apologies for that abrupt start to Q2, but I was marginally concerned Perez was automatically immediately going to ruin Alex's lap straight away. I'll be honest, I don't think we're getting Q3. But Alex has done the fastest Sector 1. Yuki has not. I wonder if he got held up on Perez because he was actually behind. There's an annoying amount of people that we're having to get through here. They're getting out of the way. I mean, they're basically parking is what they're doing. If anything, it's a little dangerous how slowly they're getting out of the way. But I'm not going to complain if it doesn't hinder our drivers. I think there's one more person to make way, but thankfully they are here on the hangar straight, so should just vanish. There he goes. Alex, 2 faster sectors, in fact. I don't know. Admittedly, Alex was half a second slower than Yuki somehow on the initial run, so don't read too hard into 2 green sectors. Yuki has done a faster middle sector as well, though. Oh, I mean, he finds that half a second and just a little bit more, but it's not enough. De Vries still yet to do a clean time, but appears to be inside Oasa, who was actually finished as well, actually. So we can't be worse than 14th, which is the main thing, because we get paid out for 2 drivers top 14. And De Vries only goes 14th anyway, so... pity you can't get paid out for places gained in a sprint, because I fancy getting Piastri. Actual qualifying results are a little wild. Once again, one of those sessions where people just go... Actually, I was about to say people go bizarrely faster, but actually the majority of people have gone bizarrely slower. Apart from Charles Leclerc, for whatever reason, who's gained... Well, I say gained, he's done a slower time in Q1, but basically everyone else has gone about half a second slower. Max in 6th. I'm going to play the long game with our drivers in the sprint. I'm going to go attack. Not going to take curbs off, but I'm going to go on 4. Well, 5 at the beginning, maybe 5 at the end, but we're going to go on 4 for the majority of this. On a medium. We might lose out a little bit at the beginning. We're going to play the long game and try and get as many places by the end. Of course, last year was carnage. Once again, excellent viewing. I know it's not meant to be a sprint, but it's still funny. I was trying to... I've done it again. Sorry, Crofty. I was trying to work out which fools have gone on to hards. It looks like Zhou Guanyu at the front and Giovinazzi, weirdly, at the very, very back end. Oh, there's a turn 1 incident. That's a surprise. Immediate safety car. Let's get the replay. It was definitely Ferrari involved in the mid-pack. Literally the worst angle you could have used. It's a Red Bull as well. That's gone. That must be max. All right, so that was the worst possible angle to actually view the actual contact there. There's enough contest to work out who it was between, but that's as far as that goes. And now I kind of wish I had gone softs. I kind of weirdly want to still keep the fuel pushing here. I know it actually doesn't really matter what settings you use because it doesn't change anything. I'll be honest, I zoomed through it and only recognised it was happening a little late there. Huh? Half the field is just pitted onto a fresh set of softs. Basically, I assume anyone who wasn't on it already. And I'm trying to work out why. Because it's a lap 1 safety car. Surely whatever strategy you had at the start of the sprint still applies. And those soft tyres are still going to be not as good at the end of this as a medium's going to. That's so weird. We're now 5th and 6th, by the way, because of that. Well, that being said, the safety car has continued for 3 whole laps, when Max Verstappen's car has been gone for about 3 laps as well. A little weird how long that's lasted, really, but it's such a weird decision. Obviously, push the fuel for the rest of this now. So I think we get 1 lap, and then we'll get DRS again. I say again, but you know what I mean. Because we haven't completed 1 racing lap, I think it resets after a safety car anyway, so you still have 1 lap without DRS, and then because it's a sprint, it'll only take 1 lap for it to come back in again. So we just need to be in range of the cars ahead to have DRS. Everyone's negotiated the first corner fine this time, I think. But it's such an odd decision. That many vehicles to pit. Like, some of them double stacked. I understand, like, maybe splitting some strategies here. Trying to capitalise, maybe, but Gioguan Yu I don't fault for that because he was on a hard. Anyone on a medium was probably fine, though, because they could just go more aggressive on it. I am so confused. Just to be clear, I haven't changed the difficulty options. They're actually grayed out for me because I think they're suffering the same problem the outlap and the last lap has. Apparently it might be mods and it's not actually a patch thing, but it's obviously something in the patch in conjunction with mods, by the way, just to be clear, because it was fine on 1.7. I didn't have any issues on 1.7 visually. It's only when it went to 1.8 and now 1.9 I've lost outlap and last lap as graphics. Oh god, our cars are fighting. Yuki's probably faster anyway, so let them have it. Fighting back again though. But I know not to tell them to not fight because I'll still just have them crash probably. Yellow flag. Guess who? They both got going though, so no more safety cars, thank god. But it is absolute carnage here in this sprint. I love it. Silverstone permanent. I mean, Perez has just driven through Lance's front wing there. Valtteri was 13th and now he's 18th. Daniel Ricciardo is 8th! Daniel Ricciardo is in a points paying position. I mean, it's lap 7. I'm trying to work out if I'm going to have to come off aggressive at any point. Our saving grace in this situation, by the way, on these medium tyres is the fact that it's Gasly, whose Alpine is slower than our car, I think, overall. Or very least not fast enough to get an overtake done. And then Ricciardo behind us, holding every other soft runner back. Because there's 10 laps to go and still nobody has taken Daniel Ricciardo. I kind of get the feeling Ocon might, because, mind you, Daniel is just staying in range. Or he doesn't actually have DRS for some reason, even though he was in DRS range. That's unfortunate. But the fact of the matter is, our medium tyres are still better than everyone's soft tyres, even though we've gone full aggression on them. Like, even the people that pitted, their soft tyres are worse than our mediums, in percentages. Norris is kind of the only one going, yeah, actually no, I might hold on to these a little bit. Gioguan Yu and Sainz slightly more so, but that might be just them pushing, or Sainz in particular, but he's obviously very smooth on his tyres. This is where the problem begins. Ricciardo's confidence is going to go to hell in a handbasket as well with all these overtakes. But I'll keep this on like full aggression until we're in DRS range of Piastri, ideally. Because don't forget, obviously, they're the batch of soft runners that haven't pitted. Gasly has better tyres than someone who has pitted. That shows you how much Ocon has been pushing, and Gasly hasn't, evidently. Whereas the front 4 have been. So Tsunoda's ahead of Alex, because obviously the way this works, I don't know who's in the lead because I don't get notifications of who's overtaking each other. So Tsunoda's currently in the lead, and he's the one that's got into DRS of Piastri. I think it helped that we were kind of basically outside of a second of him. So that meant whoever was in the lead didn't have DRS, which meant we just sort of slingshotted our way past each other into DRS with Piastri, and now we're in DRS. We're kind of putting Albon at danger because Tsunoda's got the speed to get past Piastri. Tsunoda is now 4th. There is a point here where we just go 4 push, and then ideally we just see these tyres to the end. I get the feeling Piastri will fight, although he's still struggling to keep up even on foot. I've gone 3 there, that's my bad. I mean, it's still been a bit carnage. Stroll's running wide again, but not quite as unfiltered carnage, as we should join Alex overtaking Piastri. Quite a train behind. Oh, Ricciardo is 13th. Bless him. I mean, that's confidence. What's happened there is a confidence chain. Piastri held up Albon, because there's like 1.7 seconds between our two drivers as things stand. But Albon's ahead, but evidently the DRS is helping Piastri. What a train that is of vehicles. Ocon's the one behind Albon. The thing is with Ocon, we know he was pushing his tyres before. They're at 50%. It's kind of a bit of relative performance coming in here as well, because it's all right. It's the last lap, Alex. You're the one with DRS. This will work out in your favour, ultimately. Snowder is 1.8 behind Magnussen. What if we can get that? I mean, if we can get 8 tenths by the time we get to the second DRS zone, we're laughing a little bit there. In a way, I'm kind of glad you're behind at the end of that first DRS. Yeah, Yuki didn't get anywhere near enough. I also feel like we're not harvesting very well here for whatever reason. And actually, Ocon just ran away a bit. Those Mercs are notably better than us now, it seems. Well, we'll absolutely take 4th and 6th, having qualified 11th and 13th. My concern now is the race, because confidence is going to be a problem in the race. Those two Mercs won't stay behind for long. Weirdly, in terms of finishing positions, it's weirdly alternating. Alpha, Merc, Alpine, McLaren, Williams, Sauber, Williams, Haas, Ferrari, Haas. Bizarre. It's such a baffling decision that people appeared. Ocon down 2, Sainz down 2, Zhou Guanyu down 5, Lando up 1. The only people to get something out of it were Lando, Nick de Vries and Giovinazzi. That's because people crashed. Really? All right. Objective, get past lap 1. Apparently a 1-stop is faster, but I know that 2-stop is equal to that 1-stop. So a little bit more optimizing, maybe? I'll be honest. Start on the fastest tyre. React to whatever carnage happens. It's 2 kilograms per lap of fuel, although weirdly 1.9 for Alex. I'm not quite sure why it's a different amount of fuel between the cars. I understand why the total weight might be different of the car, because that's just the difference between the driver's own weights. But I don't know why the estimated fuel per lap would be different. More to the point, why it would be more for Yuki than it would be for Alex, when Yuki is obviously the smaller person. Surely it would take less fuel per lap to get him round than Alex. That's going to bother me. Anyway, race time.
Hold on tight. It's the British Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Kind of a little bit of a weird sight because of the alternating finishes there. A lot of teams are behind each other, so it's like they almost like erased themselves in teams on each side of the grid. But got away cleanly this time. Sainz fighting Alex. Yuki fighting Russell actually, and getting him seemingly on lap 1. And it happened far enough away from the start. We actually get a replay for it on the outside. Oh, Russell's on a medium. We're one of very few people on a soft to start with, which is weird. Maybe some people are doing 1-stop, but we'll come back. Obviously, there's no sponsors this time because it's a sprint, and I think the game kind of glitches out on sprints when it comes to doing sponsors. Wait, Russell is 4th. It just dawned on me the sprint ended Leclerc from Russell, so Russell actually got taken by Magnussen first, and then Yuki got him. Is Magnussen on a soft? No, I don't understand that then. Obviously, the reason why most people are medium is because they used a soft in the sprint, whereas we didn't. Oh my god, there goes Ocon. Only a yellow flag, surprisingly, that. And I'm also surprised he's not out. That was a violent swerve off. Oh, he doesn't actually hit anything. It sounded like he hit something. That's what threw me off. Oh, free place for Alex. We'll take that. And Yuki is having to go with Magnussen, who was struggling to keep up with Leclerc. So obviously 2 laps all out. I wonder if Ocon hurt anything. Oh, that's a good point. No, we won't have it. I was going to check if Ocon hurt anything on his car, but I won't be able to find out until he finishes the lap anyway. You don't get live updates on that, only when they cross the line. I get those tyre temperatures down first, and then we can consider maybe what level to push them at. Okay, so Ocon's crossed the line and he hasn't pitted, so evidently tyres must be okay. Yeah, he lost 20% though, and didn't hurt his car internally anyway. No way of checking their actual external parts, just their internal parts, weirdly. So DRS now active, of course. Yuki having a look. Yuki having a sweep on the inside. Lovely. Yuki second. I don't want to say anything. Going into the summer break, I believe we've had 2 podiums, and we need 6 in a season. Admittedly, next year we'll probably be further towards the front anyway. So even if we don't get the 6 podiums this year, long-term objective, then it's very likely we'll get it next year. Why are the tyres still hot? I was about to say, have they stealth nerfed avoid curbs? I just sped things up to get the tyre temperatures down, just to see if they were coming down. Seems like they're fighting each other a little bit more. Behind, Russell and Albon are having more of a fight as well. Russell's got Albon. Wait, no. Russell was already ahead of Albon. Giovinassi's had a spin. Not relevant to our race. That's probably enough fuel-wise as well, thinking about it. All right. Keep track of the tyre wear. Oh, tyres are right down in terms of temperature. Okay, this seems to be the right method for pace and tyre wear. 2 cars out. A lot of debris, says the text. I don't see anyone out. There's our old favourite. That's got to be Lance. Yes, 2 cars are clearly out, Hammerland. Well, they made that sound more dramatic than it was. Crikey, no one even got penalised for it, annoyingly. Fortunately, in all of that, over the last few laps, Sainz did get Albon, but at the very least, Albon seems to be capable of staying in the DRS of Sainz. Couldn't keep up with the train that is ultimately led by Yuki. Yeah, I think basically anything added in 1.9 isn't showing up either there, because I think that was meant to be the investigation no penalty, which they've added. Sainz getting into the train that's led by Yuki has unfortunately pulled Alex out of it. We are going to have to pit someone first here. Considering Yuki's still in a train here, it might be best to get Alex off tyres first and get Yuki in next lap, because Alex isn't following anyone. He's got no benefit to staying out there. Yuki's admittedly fallen out of DRS race, but he does have it, crucially, on this lap. There, anyway. Great stop for Alex. Comes out in a very good window as well. It gives me a good indication of where Yuki's going to come out, ultimately. Yeah, maybe I should have pitted Yuki. He's a few seconds ahead, so he should still come out either right behind De Vries or ahead of De Vries. This is designed to be 4 anyway, so we'll just go 4, no curbs, no fuss. Yeah, so Magson helped drag Yuki along for a lap there. Hopefully that helps negate the undercut that Alex had. Oh, De Vries is pitted anyway, perfect. As has Verstappen, the person ahead of him, so Yuki should come out 11th quite comfortably. Alex probably closer, ultimately, but more than a second is the main thing. And now we just let them drive. Unfortunately, until people pit into us, we're not going to work out where we are in comparison. And they're evidently doing 1 stop as well. Well, we don't necessarily need to wait for people to pit into us because we're catching Piastri anyway. The last stint's going to be fun when it's their hards versus our softs. But Yuki having a nibble at Piastri, but not actually making anything stick, unfortunately. Oh, he's pitted anyway. Perfect. How did Verstappen pit it? I know he's in a Red Bull, but how did Verstappen do a lap that was faster than Alex? I'm going to have to look this back in the edit and see how far back Verstappen was from Alex before they pitted, because how has he overcut him? Do you have an answer looked up? I swear De Vries and Verstappen were the 2 people we were measuring against where we were going to come out. Yeah, Max pitted on the same lap as Yuki. Max started last. How in God's name has he gone 17 seconds faster overall with the pit stop involved than Ocon, plus whatever time he had to claw back from being last versus Ocon being 5th at the start of this race? How has he overturned that and then added 17 seconds in the space of 23 laps? I am so confused. How has Max done what he's done? Either he absolutely ruined those softs, or maybe he's doing 2 stops as well, actually, because he's gone soft to medium, hasn't he? So he's doing our strategy. He's trying to be fast. Wait, Ocon went medium to soft, so they're 2 stopping as well. I thought ultimately we were just going to have the benefit of being on better tyres at every basically stage of the race, like we are against Perez and Sainz here. But Ocon's done medium to soft. I don't understand the decisions. Only the front 3 haven't pitted. Leclerc is 23 seconds ahead of Yuki Tsunoda. Only Leclerc has a chance of coming out ahead of Yuki at this point. Now, bear in mind, obviously, we've got to pit again, but they're obviously doing 1 stop to hards. This has suddenly just become a fascinating tyre strategy confrontation race with Max Verstappen as a bizarrely fast. I mean, I say bizarrely fast, just in comparison to where he started. Obviously, he's fast. That's incredible. Like, Verstappen is going to be either 2nd or 1st, depending on where Leclerc comes out. He's just pitted now. Max is locked up for good fun as well. He's 16th currently. Leclerc and Russell obviously have just pitted. Russell obviously behind. He was 7 seconds off Leclerc. So Leclerc does come out ahead of Yuki Tsunoda. Someone has also had a moment. Well, this time it looks like they might actually be out. No, they've got moving again. Guess who? All right, who's he destroyed this time? Oh no, he's just locked up. There's Pierre Gasly, just terrified that Stroll's going to rejoin the track on him. Wait, separate incident. Ferrari involved. That's George. That's behind our vehicle. So this is George on fresh hards, just taking it out on his former team. George and Sergio have got some kind of feud going on here. It's always them 2. I feel like inserting the McGonagall meme here. Well, Verstappen, bizarrely, 3rd. I mean, we're 2nd and 4th. We do have to pit again. No, yeah, there's meant to be a no penalty thing there, I think. I'll check my mods afterwards and we'll either remove what we can on... Wait, Perez hadn't pitted? Did Perez do soft? Oh, no, he must have hurt his tyres. Wait, what? He must have hurt his front wing because he's gone on to mediums. I mean, which, you know, ironically would be better for him for the rest of this race, but he has already pitted a 2nd time. Perez might be a weird challenger now, because depending on how fast he is on those mediums, you might get an undercut on us for these next however many laps are on these. Russell's taking Albon. Is he on softs now? No, he's on hards. Okay, sure. And struggling to stay ahead for whatever reason. Alex isn't accidentally on avoiding curbs, is he? No. So there's Yuki Tsunoda versus Max Verstappen. There's also Albon versus Sainz, who's also on a hard tyre and somehow faster. Yellow flag again. Hello. That is just poor old Hadjar having a terrible, terrible race in the back. Well, almost back, actually. Wait, that was Ricardo. I'm so confused. I could have sworn it was the pass down here. Maybe there was a second thing. I don't know. Sainz gets Albon. We're looking at the wrong... No, we are looking at the right one. Giovinazzi must still have a broken vehicle as a whole. I don't think he took penalties. So, yeah, he wasn't functioning right last race either, was he? I mean, if you could just hold on to somebody, Alex, that'd be great. Just someone. I mean, there's a bit of a thing now. After we cross this line, he's ahead for whatever somehow, but there's 2 laps until we pit him anyway. At some point, we attack these tyres, don't we? I think maybe next lap we attack the tyres. With both drivers, maybe? Go all out attack, and then we're going to be on softs the rest of this race versus their hards or whatever they're pitting onto for a second time. And credit to Yuki, he is holding on to Max. Although, to be fair, actually, they are far enough apart we could double stack them. I think we'll still pit them on separate laps. Yuki's threatening to not be in DRS range, so let's attack him now. As well, he's not in DRS range. Right, so we've not had the optimal message, but it's optimal for Alex. And we'll do next lap for Yuki Tsunoda. So, Alex in. Yuki struggling to keep up. I guess Verstappen's mediums are going off as well in comparison to George's hards because he's gone through Max. Feels forever at Silverstone. This is the problem with pitting twice. This is such a long pit stop. Comes out 11th with everything to gain again. However, ahead of Perez on pit exit, crucially, I was worried about him if you remember. Gasly and Verstappen do need to pit again, but everyone else is on a hard tyre to the end. Everyone's on a hard tyre to the end and we're on a regular standard push on a soft tyre to the end, in theory. Which might be attack with curbs, I don't know. We'll get the tyres up to temperature, crucially, first. So Yuki should come out ahead of Perez. He might be fighting Magnussen on exit, judging by the gap. Because Albon was, I think, like 7 or 8 seconds behind, actually, so he might actually be relatively close to Piastri, but he might, because of the time spent, he might be closer to Magnussen. Yeah, he's quite close to Piastri. Albon got Perez back. Necessary for him to sort of maybe leave Perez behind. The longer we spend fighting Perez, the more of a problem that's going to be. I don't even bother watching Piastri overtake, really. I mean, by the time I clicked on this highlight, he's already, I think, 2 seconds clear of Piastri. He's just gone, bye! I think I need to take him off 5 push, though. I do. All right, that's Magnussen for Albon as well. Yuki Tsunoda, Max is pitted now. Max pitted a lot later. That's giving Yuki the benefit there. And we'll rejoin Yuki because he should have Zhou Guanyu in his sights. He does. How far is Sainz up the road? 4 seconds? Sainz is easily claimable here. The Ferraris have pace now, I think. Well, at very least George Russell does. Looking at the wrong person, Albon takes Piastri. Yeah, Max went on to softs really late for some reason, but he's going to be destroying them. Yuki, I'm going to need you to take Zhou Guanyu, like, now, because otherwise Max is going to have you. Thank you. Now, the best thing is they've got another set of softs in case there's a safety car. Yeah, unsurprisingly, Max does fastest lap. All right, so now you run away from Zhou Guanyu, whilst giving him DRS to hold off Max for 1 sector, at least. And now you close up to Sainz. I wonder how this will work against George Russell ultimately, because Max is going to get Yuki first, which might actually be a really good thing for Yuki. No, he just left him behind. I didn't even... For some reason, I zoned out on Sainz there. Back to 4th. I feel like this is the best we could have hoped for, having started 4th and 6th. Oh, God. I've ignored one huge problem there. Okay, the recovery rate seems to be pretty solid. Albon still gets Norris, though, despite recovering fuel at this moment in time. I'm about to lap someone. If we can get back to 4th and 6th, I think that's kind of... To be fair, with Max coming through from the back... Okay, we don't need to recover fuel anymore. With Max coming through from last, we would effectively be 5th and 7th, so Yuki's still up a place in that context. Leclerc and Russell were 1 and 2 on race start. Verstappen was 20th, but he's in a Red Bull. So it's Magnussen we've done massively better than, because Magnussen started this race 3rd and he's 12th, which seems ridiculous. Somehow I don't think we're getting Zhou Guanyu even though he's on 39% hards. We're on 45% softs, admittedly. Somehow I don't think we're getting Zhou Guanyu. I mean, the gap's coming down quite dramatically on the last lap, but what was 4 seconds has become 2.5. Looks like Ocon's going to get the final point. Gasly with a couple of decent points for Alpine at this stage of the season. We'll take 4th, though. Pity Max exists. Yes, it's so annoying, like, you can see the moment where tyres start to become slow is like 40%. They were kind of pootling around okay, but the second it went 39% on those hards for Zhou Guanyu, Alex went from 4 seconds behind to 2 seconds behind. Admittedly, obviously we started pushing a little bit harder as well, but that gap came down by 2 seconds between pushing the tyres and a little bit of ERS on like the last sector alone. He didn't really have anything to spare, but it was mostly because those hard tyres went from 40 to 39, and then it drops off even worse when you go 30 to 29. It's so dumb, the tyre strategy here. The tyre wear rates are just ridiculous. I'm so glad we could get the fuel back, actually. That was the main concern. Why are we focusing on Alex? Yuki went from 4th to 4th. Alex went from 6th to 7th. Anyway, Max up 17 places because he's ridiculous. Yuki holds firm in 4th. Carlos actually up 2 places back to where he started the sprint, I think. Zhou Guanyu up to 6th, Lando up to 8th. The one stopped working for most, actually, because the AI obviously don't push in the same way that we can. They push in phases, but ultimately they kind of stick to the suggested strategy overall, which is obviously a little bit slower net than pushing on one of those stints was for us. But Kevin lost out massively. I don't know what happened with him. He one stop, but had a huge problem with it. Still, in the Drivers' Championship, Yuki is up to 4th. Sergio, with no points, is down to 7th. 17 points for Yuki Tsunoda between sprint and race. 12 points for Carlos Sainz. Nothing at all for Sergio. Lando 4 points. Alex 9 between sprint and race. Charles Leclerc with 33 points, winning both sprint and race, does close the gap on Max Verstappen, which is kind of crucial if there's going to be any form of drama here. Goes Red Bull, sure. No points towards the back. Alpine with 3, Aston with 6, McLaren 12, 26 for us. Puts us back into the fight with Mercedes. I like the fact we kind of keep going, oh, we're going to get it, we're going to get it. No, we're not. We're going to get it, we're going to get it. No, you're not. Anyway, maximum points in the fastest pit stop again. 300 thereabouts, points clear. With 10 races to go. Hang on, what objective did we fail there? We failed on an objective. Didn't get into Q3. Just stocking up on rear wings. And of course, the mid-season board review. Oh, no, sorry, tell lie. We've had 3 podiums between us. Yeah, realistically, we'll be closer to the front next year because of the big reset. I give another 1.5 million. That makes a huge difference. It's 1.5 gearboxes, or 60% of an ERS. That's why I built more rear wings. Oh god, we are manufacturing more underfloors, thank god for that. So just because you won't see Zandvoort, just an update on what we're actually doing. Underfloor side pods and suspension, these might actually be the last developed pieces. I'm not sure if I'm going to go a 4th round on anything. But at the same time, I don't want to do too much research. I've got one remaining engineer just going, do the rear wing. Because I don't want to research too much and get too much of an advantage on the AI in the reset. Now, what technically could be done, actually, is once the reset happens, is put AI car development on hard so they develop better after the reset. I don't know how much that, I don't know if that affects research, so I don't want to do it on this season because I don't want to be on hard when we're already competitive, or they're already competitive, I should say. But I could put it on hard next year just to get them back up to scratch faster. And then as soon as they are up to scratch, put it back to normal. That could be a thing. All of these designs will be in time, and we will have enough time to manufacture them before Zandvoort. Doesn't matter because the intention here is to bring you back for Texas and Qatar. If I decide to do a 3rd one, I might do Monza. It's an ATA weekend, but just because it kind of 3x3, Monza, 3 races, Austin, 3 races, Lusail, Qatar. And depending on what the situation is, we could maybe include the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix into that video as well with Qatar. It's already a sprint weekend to begin with, so we'll see how that goes, really. But yeah, the intention now is going forward is just check-ins. So that means I only have to dedicate 1 race of recordings worth of time per video still. I think ultimately that works out best for everyone. But we do have 21 million in the bank there or thereabouts going into the break. Only 40 million in the cost cap though, which does mean we can probably start putting a little bit more money into facilities rather than car parts, maybe going forward, fingers crossed. But that's it here from Britain. It wasn't quite as carnage last time. There's still a fair few incidents, but not just the straight up demolition derby that it was in 2024. But anyway, if you enjoyed this nonetheless, like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, thank you for watching. I'll see you very soon, maybe for Football Manager, but it won't be too long before another race. I won't leave it more than a week, well, 2 weeks I suppose, between this video and the next if Football Manager does come out in time on the Monday. Until next time, thank you for watching. Ciao.